Yo, welcome back to the Execute Regardless podcast. Appreciate you being here. As always, the purpose of this podcast is to prove that there is no secret, that the only difference between winning and losing is the ability to execute regardless of external circumstances, regardless of whether you fucking lose your job, lose your apartment, which we're going to get into today. Funny story. Regardless of whatever the fuck happens in your life, the only difference between winning and losing is not some fucking magic secret. Perfect is never coming. Nobody's coming to save you. It's your ability to execute regardless, right? And before we hop into today's story and what I want to deliver, I want to pass on and talk about briefly one of Winners Win's non-negotiables. And what do I mean by that? So Winners Win is the company that powers this podcast. Okay, we set it up to help people discover what's possible at 100%, and we're on a mission to prove that there is no secret and to normalize living at 100%. And we have a list of non-negotiables, and one of them came to my mind when I was driving here this morning, which was high-hanging fruit. Right? And you're probably wondering, what the fuck is the high-hanging fruit? Well, you've probably heard of the low-hanging fruit, and I want to say, first of all, never go for the low-hanging fruit. Fuck the low-hanging fruit. That's where everyone goes for. You need to go for the high-hanging fruit. You need to believe that more is possible, because it is. And the amount of effort it requires to get the low-hanging fruit, to build a small business, to have a small-time career versus building a big business. You want to know the interesting thing? They both take 10 to 12 hour days. They both require hard work. Building a corner shop selling confectionery or selling whatever versus building a big company they're both gonna require you to work 10 to 12 hour days. So you might as well go for the high hanging fruit. Go to the places where nobody is willing to go. Does that make sense? So I wanted to pass that on. Now, as always, when you listen to this podcast, grab some coffee. I have mine here. Enjoy it with me, and we'll get into this. I've got some sort of espresso from Nespresso today. I think it's Eel Cafe. Probably give this one a I'll probably give this one like a 7 out of 10. It's not bad. So let's get into it. What do we want to talk about today? Well, specifically what we're gonna go through is how to deal with any major blow and how you need to deal with it. All right, this is a non-negotiable as well. How to deal with any major blow. And trust me, I'm more than qualified to talk about this. I've had so many fucking blows over the last, I'm 26 now, started on this journey when I was 17, 3, 9. Fuck, man, I've been doing this shit for 9 years. 9 years. I spent six of those years taking blow after blow after blow. Okay, I'm talking about 5 business failures. I've had 5 failed businesses. I've made a shit ton of money. Right? I've made a shit ton of money. But you want to know what the interesting thing is? I've lost way fucking more. I always made money in sporadic bursts. I'd make fucking one week I made 30 grand. And you think you're on top of the world, right? And then, 3 months later, you could be wondering how to put fucking fuel in the car, right? So I'm telling you, I've took a fair share of major blows, from business to personal to character. They're probably the hardest blows to deal with, to environment, which is not having a home. I've been homeless twice. I was kicked out of home when I was young. I've lived in cars, lived on friends' couches, which is where I want to kind of go with this today. Very important lesson in this. And there's one thing that I always done, and I still currently do to this day, which is where I'm going with this, to this day, that helps me deal with major blows. And it's got me out of so many situations where, to be honest, at some points I said to myself, there's no way I'm going to get out of this. I'm fucked. There's been so many situations where I didn't see a way out. I couldn't see a way out. And this one thing has saved my life, right? And I'm confident now. I've done this so many times. I'm confident now that this this is universal. This is universal. So it's a bit of a it's a bit of a funny story. I kind of laugh about it now because maybe you'll see why I laugh at the end. The fact that no, I'll save it for the story, right? So yeah, let's get into this, right? I'm just gonna have a sip of the coffee. It's good. Hope you have yours now. So let me give you a little bit of context to this story. Eventually, it'll get somewhere. So in terms of, I mentioned that I'd spent probably 6 to 7 years struggling from the business failures to the personal character. You know, I became a shell of the person that I was today. And along that journey of trying to find the secret, trying to find the hack that was going to change my life, which essentially led me to ruins every time until I realized, again, I was the variable. There was no secret. It was my ability to execute regardless. Along that journey, I paid many prices, and I suffered a lot of consequences for having the wrong beliefs, which is what I want to pass on to you today. And even today, I still have to practice this, as I mentioned. But along that journey, the big goal for me, and you know, this might not be your goal, but my goal was to have a home. And I know that sounds fucking very basic, but my goal was to have a home because for many years of my life, I was always on the move. Even to this date, in the last 2.5 years, I've probably moved 4 times, just trying to find where I wanted to lay down my head at night, be comfortable, wake up in the morning and say, you know what, this is it, Chloe, this is our home. I'm fucking happy to live the rest of my life here, right? That was my goal. I wanted to have a home, and I think the desire to want to have a place to call home came from those nights sleeping in the car, from when I was a teen, when I was scarred, when I was kicked out of home. And don't get me wrong, I've made amends with, with my parents now, but when I was kicked out of home, I felt very fucking lost. I felt very lost. And if you don't know much about my story, eventually I was able, throughout that 6 to 7 year period, I was able to find a place. And for about a year, I actually did find a home. And then eventually I fucking lost it. I lost the one place that I was able to call home. Me and Chloe, when I don't know what age I was, it was a couple of years ago. I found a place, finally got settled in, and boom, external came along and fucked me up. External came along, fucked me up. I wasn't ready. I wasn't in a position to win. The odds were stacked against me, and I was back to square one. I was out. I was out for the second time in my life. KO'd, struggling to get back up, and again, I was just trying to find my feet. Ended up moving in with the girlfriend's parents. Yeah, moved there and had to start rebuilding. And so that was maybe 3, 4. No, that was 20. That was 2020ish, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact dates. But I was trying to rebuild. I was trying to rebuild my life. And now at this point, it had all dawned on it. Sorry. At this point, it had all dawned on me that I was the variable. I was the variable in the equation. I was in no position to I was in no position to win. Everything was input output. It was all my fault. So once I took ownership and accepted responsibility, the power was in my court. The ball was in my court, right? I had reclaimed control over my life. I was able to influence the trajectory. And over the last 4 years, I've been working my fucking ass off, right? Fixated on one vision. One sec. Over the last 4 years, I was fixated on one vision, which was, okay, yeah, I want to do great in business. Yeah, I want to improve my health. But the thing in the back of my mind over the last 4 years was, I need to set myself up so fucking big that the external can't come along and fuck me over again. That's what I needed to do, right? Sorry, Chloe texts me. Hope all is going great. She's at an event in London right now. Yeah, big event. And I told her, she was a little bit worried. I said, Chloe, you don't need to fucking worry. I said, just be yourself. I said, authenticity, that's what people fucking buy. They buy you. You don't need to be anybody else. But anyways, to continue moving forward. Back to what I was saying. Over the last few years, as I was building my business, as I was forging Callum 2.0, this new version, the intrinsic motivation was to make sure that when the external came along, there was nothing that could stop me. There was nothing that could fuck up my home. And worked my ass off, built outsource CMO, made my first 100,000 in marketing consulting online predictably. And I say that because I mentioned at the start of this, I never had predictability. Everything was always sporadic. But that time, I had intentionally done it. And very proud of where I was and where I got to. And me and Chloe, we eventually got our home. We eventually found our home. And that home, beautiful place. I don't want to say exactly where it is for privacy, but we moved to this fantastic hotel and golf resort. It was amazing. And this was the place that I had dreamt about for 4 years. Like, I legit had this vision in my mind. The place we were going to live was on 500 acres, right? It was on this golf course. This is where we were moving to because it aligned with my values, which was peace, nature, community, the environment. It was all perfect, right? If you want to call it manifestation, that's what it was. 4 fucking years, I worked my ass off to call this place home. And in the last year, we made it our home. After 4 years of working my ass off and Chloe working her ass off, we were able to call this place home, and we moved here, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. And you know what? Here's where it gets a little bit fucked up. There's not a day that goes by when I got here that I didn't count my blessings, that I was not grateful, that I did not make the most of every fucking day. In fact, I told the guys inside of Winners Insider, as well as many other people that I spoke to, I said, guys, I feel like I'm living a fucking dream. I'm living my dream in real time. Like, legit, and I mean that. Every day, I felt like I was living my dream. And last week, I was sitting in the kitchen with Chloe, and we got a knock at the door. We got some news. And it was, Chloe had just put up on her Instagram story that she said, so grateful to call this place home, because we truly were. And just as we kind of felt, you know what, this is it, like, life could not get any better than this. Yeah, this is a bit of a blow. The external came along. We got a knock at the door, and we were told that the entire estate has been sold. Where we live has been sold, and we have X amount of time left, and this is no longer our home. Pretty fucked up. I just spent the last 4 years working my ass off. Just as I took my foot off the fucking accelerator and said, you know what, I can fucking breathe. This feels good. Chloe, we're living the fucking dream. Boom. The external comes along. And just when you think you're fucking good, just when you think you have all your ducks in a row, just when you think you're fucking solid, just when you think you've done enough, I'm telling you, it's that moment where you get comfortable, you get a little bit complacent. That's when it fucking strikes. Every fucking time in my life, Every fucking time in my life when I take the foot off the accelerator, boom, the external comes along, deals me a fucking major blow. Deals me a major blow. I'd worked my ass off. For the last 4 years to fucking make sure that this never happened again. And the 1 minute I fucking take a deep breath and I say, you know what? We're good. You want to know what? You're not fucking good. You're not fucking good. The external is waiting on you to fucking think you're good. That's what happened here. That's what happened here. And as soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, boom, it strikes. It strikes. All right? And the external is never going away. The external is never going away. The external prays that you get comfy. Think of the external like a vulture circling high in the sky. It preys on the weak. It preys on those who get comfortable, waiting on them to slip up. It's preying on you to fucking swoop down and attack. That's what it's doing. Right? It preys on the fucking weak. That's why you have to stay sharp. That's why you have to stay at 100%. That's why when the fucking external tries to fucking chance coming down on you, right? It fucking deals you a major blow. That's why you need to execute regardless. When the external swoops down to fucking take a chance at fucking striking at you, right? You have to hit back twice as hard. You need to be in a position where you're not fucking phased. Because let me tell you something about the external. The external is never going away. It's never going away. It's constantly circling. I'm telling you, it's constantly circling, waiting on you to slip up, waiting on you to hit the brakes, waiting on you to say, I'm fucking good. You know what? Let's slow down. And at that fucking moment, when you do, that's when it attacks, right? So you can't get fucking complacent. You can't get complacent. You can be happy, but don't be fucking satisfied, right? Don't be fucking satisfied. Whew, fuck, man. One sec, let me get more coffee. Right? And that's why the way to deal with any major blow, the way to deal with this, right, is to continue executing regardless of circumstances. What the fuck am I going to do? Okay, yeah, I'm after been dealt this fucking blow. Just when I thought everything was good, just the 4 years that I just spent working towards this very moment, just as I fucking got it, man, it pulled it out from underneath me. But what's the fucking alternative? What's the alternative? Am I going to fucking sit and cry? Am I going to sit and cry and say, oh, the world's against me, wait, I'm fucking perfect? From my experience, man, perfect is never fucking coming. Nobody's going to come fucking save me. I am the fucking variable in the equation. And all I can do is put myself in a position where this shit doesn't affect me, that I can scare the fucking shit out of the external. That's what I need to fucking do. You need to fucking stay in a position where it thinks twice about attacking you. But make no mistake, it's never going away. But the only thing you can do is continue to execute regardless. Right? So yeah, while I took a devastating blow the other day, that one took me about 2 to 3 hours to get over. And that's pretty normal. There's always going to be a time where you have to process the damage. But what took me 2 to 3 hours to get over this, okay? Take it on the chin. Say, you know what? It is what it is. What am I going to do? Fucking cry? Okay, yeah, I was devastated. That everything I fucking worked for the last 4 years is fucking gone down the drain. But I was able to process that within about 2 hours and say, right, what the fuck do we need to do next? Right? Because that's beyond us now. That's happened. How do we ensure that it doesn't fucking happen again? What can we learn from this? This isn't a fucking loss. We can take something from this. Okay? We need to be stronger. We need to be sharper. Right? What's the lesson in this? What's the lesson? Right? Win or learn. And what took me 2 hours to get over, that used to take me 2 to 3 years. That used to take me 12 to 24 months to get over this shit. Right? I'd feel sorry. I'd go fucking cry. I'd feel sorry for myself. I think the world is against me. I'd keep asking, why me? Why is it always fucking picking up? Why is it always picking on me? Right? Why is the world so unfair to me? And you know what that fucking did for me? Never fucking did anything. The only thing that ever done good for me was when I accepted that I was the variable, that it was all my fault. I'm the one who controls the fucking circumstances. Because if I choose not to accept that, I leave it down to the fucking wind. I leave it down to whatever way the external wants to fucking deal the cards to me. Alright? If the wind blows left, that's where you go. Fuck that. Fuck that. You need to assert power over your life, over the situation, over the trajectory. Okay? Whereas you've got two choices. You've got two choices. You can either go and fucking cry about it, or you can continue to execute regardless. And I can't reiterate that enough. My fucking speech. What is going on? I can't reiterate that enough. So continue to execute regardless. How to deal with any major blow? Fucking take it on the chin. Look at the lesson in it. Process it as fast as possible. And keep moving fucking forward. Put yourself in a position where the fucking external that's preying on you, that's circling around you, thinks twice before it comes down to attack you. It thinks twice before it comes down to fucking chance its arm with you. Right? It preys on the weak. So what the fuck does that mean? It means you need to be strong. It means you need to fucking forge yourself into a fucking machine. Right? That it fucking knows we can't fuck with this person. We can't fuck with this guy. We can't fuck with this girl. Right? You need to get to 100%. You need to get to 100%. Anything less than that is weak. 100 is the fucking baseline. Alright? That's what you need to do. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life. That's how I'm still practicing this shit today. I'm still practicing this today. And I'm aware it's never going away. That's why I work so fucking hard. Right? You think I go and do all this training and, I'm going to the gym, I'm running. You think when you see me out doing all that shit, you see that stuff online, you think that's for aesthetics? You think that's for ego? No. That's to fucking protect myself. That's to put myself in a position where the external can't fucking affect me. So I can protect my family, my future, my vision, what I'm working on. That's why I do it. And that's why you need to do it. Right? Become a fucking machine. Become undeniable. Right? Become undeniable. Because that external is never going away. So listen. If this was valuable, the growth of this podcast has been immense. The feedback has been amazing. And every rating on this show really helps get this message out further. And if you want other people to hear this, you think other people could do it, please leave a rating. That is all I ask. Because this is going to help us fulfill our mission of proving that there is no secret. Every one person that hears this, right, they could spend the next 4 or 5 years thinking the answers are outside that window. They're not. So the quicker they hear this message, the quicker they can fucking start progressing in their life. So listen, I appreciate you as always. The only difference between winning and losing is the ability to execute regardless. Let's fucking go. Go for the high-hanging fruit today. Go for the high-hanging fruit. Fuck the low-hanging fruit. Alright? Connect with me on social media at Cal Roche. Right? If you got any questions, Callum at executeregardless.com. I appreciate you. Winners win.